Happy December, everyone! In the spirit of this season, this month we are covering the truest gospel from a galaxy far, far away. Thanks to Rogue One coming out December 16th, it's Canon Star Wars month. And what better way to celebrate the canon than by covering the best canon ongoing comic right now that wasn't ongoing. So massive spoilers for the 2015 Darth Vader comic incoming. You've been warned. On with the show! Darth Vader Annual Number 1. On the planet of Shu-Torun, an aging king tells his 3 children their lot in life. Monthan will take his father's place on the throne, Halion will be the celibate warlord, head of their war faith, and his youngest, Traz, shall serve in other ways. But enough of the Lord of the Rings convention. Vader arrives on the planet, met by Princess Traz. She takes him to the celebration to showcase the planet's culture, though Vader cares more about the fact that they haven't met their ore quota. With his ship now left alone, BT and Trip Zero sneak off of his TIE fighter to start their own, more subtle mission. Vader is brought to the main ballroom of their palace, where he's shown their counter-bore waltz. Shu-Torun is very courtly culture, and you can almost feel the annoyance around Vader as he watches people dance. Meanwhile, Trip Zero and BT try sneaking through the palace, but are stopped by a droid telling them that they need proper clearance. So Trip Zero rips out its data core. But don't worry, he turned off the pain receptors first. After all, he's not a savage to other droids. Back at the ballroom, a Duke Rubix, tells Vader he must dance with his daughter. To be there and not to dance is surely an insult. Well, Vader shrugs that off and force throws Duke Rubix. No one else decides that they want to dance with Vader. Suddenly, the ceiling explodes as rebels, though not rebellion-level rebels, just planet-side rebels, attack. Vader kind of kills them all very, very easily. Traz says that they need to go through the tunnels underneath the palace to reach her father. However, we cut over to her father, who's bitching because his assassins failed. As he says that Vader can't escape the next trap, BT and Trip Zero stand next to his throne, with a tray of drinks on BT's head. Traz leads Vader into the ore refining tunnels underneath the palace. Suddenly, the huge blast doors close on either side, and molten ore begins to fill the chamber. Vader is actually impressed that Traz would sacrifice herself, but he knocks her out, cuts a platform from the wall, uses it to float to a walkway leading to one of the exhaust vents, and leaves. Oh, did I mention he did all of this while holding the Imperial present meant for the king? I know I seem to say this every issue, but his badass! It's over 9,000! Over with BT and Trip Zero, the king, being totally pissed off that Vader's still alive, knocks over their poison drink tray. And yes, that annoys Trip Zero enough so BT can do things his way. Outside the large doors of the throne room, Vader wakes Traz up. She pulls a gun on Vader, but he promptly cuts her hand off. He then pries open the doors, and inside the throne room, BT and Trip Zero stand in the slaughtered masses. With Trip Zero making a fun comment about, "There's been a terrible accident. Mass heart attacks." Troyes falls to her knees, crying, but she's now queen, and Vader gives her the Emperor's gift, a chunk of Alderaan to remind her what happens when a planet disobeys the Empire. Troyes can rule her people the way she wants, but as Vader levitates her father's crown onto her head, he reminds her that she should never forget who she serves. The end. So Vader got over the loss of Aphra and Vader down pretty quick, huh? I kid. It's an annual, so it can be a bit loose with continuity. However, as a standalone that is in fact not a standalone, I really like it. I know at this point I'm over halfway done with the series, and all I've ever said about every issue is that I really enjoyed it. But honestly, I think I like this for different reasons. This issue felt like, and this is going to need some explaining, like watching an episode of Doctor Who where he doesn't have a companion. Fundamentally, Darth Vader is the same character we've seen, and we've seen him work alone before. I mean, Aphra wasn't even introduced until issue 3, so we saw him acting on his own. That's what this is ultimately. He's there to threaten the king because their shipment of ore is late. He's acting as the Imperial Fist we know, without bogging his actions down with Palpatine berating him or having some ulterior motive for doing it. It's straight up a mission for the Empire, because it's what he does and who he is. And then there's the use of the hunk of Alderaan for Vader to tell Traz that she can be a great queen for her people, but if she doesn't adhere to the Empire, her entire planet will be destroyed. It's the perfect way to explain the Tarkin doctrine as seen in practice. And on the technical side, the guest art team for this is actually pretty good. While it's not the same direction as Larroca and Delgado, it generally has the cleaned up feel that we got with the Star Wars ongoing during Vader Down. I like it, and it worked. I wouldn't say jaw-dropping, but still very well handled and feels very much in place. All in all, I really enjoy this. But we're not done on the planet of Shu-Torun, as tomorrow we go back to the main art team and begin the Shu-Torun War. And that is why I call this a prologue rather than a standalone. Okay? Come back tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. As always, if you agree or disagree with me, or just want to add your own comments, theories, or criticisms, leave a comment below. Don't forget to check out my other channels, ComicSins and The Archivist, links on screen. I also want to give a huge shout out to Star Wars Explained and Star Wars Theory. I may be talking about my views on Darth Vader comics this month, but both of these channels have been spectacular when dealing with the whole of Star Wars, both canon and legends. Links also on screen. And finally, my credits song is lifted from Taylor Davis's epic Star Wars medley. Check out her channel where she plays some epic violin. And as always, stay golden, Inklings.